Okay, welcome. I'm Caton from Acemethodcoaching, and this is my weekly show where I take some of the videos that have been sent to me and questions that have been sent to me throughout the week from hurdlers all around the world. Mostly videos saying, hey, will you look at my video? Tell me how I can get better, which is what I do. I do this as a business. A longer version of what you're going to see today is called a virtual coaching session, which I do these all the time. Either a person will send me their information and I'll do an extended video and send them the information back, or we'll do a live Zoom session, either one. If you want to learn about getting one of those, you can go to my website at acemethodcoaching.com and you can see how to do that. It's a virtual coaching session. But I also help hurdle coaches and athletes who don't have a qualified hurdle coach who want to get better. I sell a lot of training plans and also instructional videos like hurdling 101, 201, and 301 from beginner all the way to elite. And that's what I do. So I'm going to take the 20 to 30 that I got this week. I'm picking 6, which I'm going to review today during this live stream and go from there. So if you want to learn about this, go to acemethodcoaching.com. Let me make sure I have the correct thing opened up, and I do. Okay, the 6 hurdlers I'm going to look at today. Some high school and some older. I'm not sure. I think post college, but I'm not sure. Okay, I'm going to start off with Alex. Alex is a senior in high school, but only in his first year of hurdling, and he's doing really well. You're going to see he wins this race, this heat, and but feels like he's losing speed and wants to know what he can do. He's been looking at a lot of my videos and wants to see how he can get better because it's not clicking for him. So let me take a look here. So this is him in the white jersey and the black. It gets better once he passes the umbrella. So here he is. So there's a bit of, I can see he's got the rhythm down, but it definitely doesn't look quick and easy. It looks like a lot of effort. So Alex, let me see if I can figure out what's going on. I see some things already, but let me slow it down. I like your focus, your composure. Looks good. Okay, so you say you've seen a lot of my videos, so you're going to recognize what I'm getting ready to say here. When I look at your plant step, okay, this where your left foot is coming into the ground, and that's what's going to plant before you go over the hurdle, okay? There's definitely a reaching out for that, landing on your heels, and if we were to draw a line down your body, that your foot is at least 12 inches in front of that line. So that's a braking action, right? If you could just get it a little more underneath you, every little bit you can do will help you. The other thing is, if we look at your lead leg is never bends more than 90 degrees. And at this point right here, your heel should be up by your butt. It should still be up by your butt and just now starting to come out. So lifting it's not a straight leg, but a too straight of leg is slower. It also gives you some unwanted lift. So keep that in mind. I would work on your lead leg. I would also work on your plant step. And then right here, I like the way that you reach the peak in front of the hurdle where your hips right here, and now you're on your way down. So good job on that. But it doesn't look like, let me zoom in. It doesn't look like your lead leg is dropping fast enough. It should have, once you started coming down, it should have straightened out more. When I say straightened out more, it should have started dropping sooner, is what I want to say. Yours just sort of floated. Come on. And when you do touch down, your legs, including your shins, are angled back. So we have a braking action there. So you ran to the hurdle. You put on the brakes as you were getting ready to go over the hurdle. You jumped over it pretty good. But keep in mind, you lost some speed because of that braking into the hurdle. And now you're landing on the hurdle, also braking. So you're losing speed going into and out of the hurdle. And this is going to have a cumulative effect. It's going to get harder and harder to make that up with speed between the hurdle. So keep that in mind. That's another thing you want to work on. Also, you can see how much you're sitting back. Like you would, if you would freeze the frame right here, you would definitely fall backwards. When you come here, you want to be up tall. Your hips should be right on top of your heels. So what you want to do is you come off this hurdle and you bring your trail arm forward. That's another thing. It's coming kind of passive. That arm should be bent at 90 degrees, if not less, and then just pull it through, right? Just like you're sprinting. You pull it through and bring your hips with it. That'll drop your lead leg down sooner. That'll get you to come down quickly and up to running soon off that hurdle, and you'll be faster. The other thing, I'm noticing quite a collapse with your lead leg here. Look at that. Your whole body just collapses. And I didn't feel like you had jumped so high, so I'm wondering why. So there's got to have been too much height. Well, part of it is, part of it is because of the fact that you didn't bring your hips forward and you're just kind of like falling through the air, like going for distance. And so that just means more collapse on the other side. It would have been better had you come off that hurdle tall, okay? Let's look at your running. Little flat-footed. This is good, but soft. And then, it's not bad. Okay, this isn't, I've seen much worse plant steps. But one thing that I would also say is I would work more on striking the ground on the balls of your foot. And so I like to have my athletes jump rope. And if not literally with a rope, part of every warm-up is jumping up and down as if you were jump roping, so you can feel the sensation of what it feels like to land on the balls of your foot, but have your foot still be tight at the same time and tight in the ankles even though they're flexing a bit. Whereas I see kind of some sponginess here that is just a loss of power and spring against the track. Okay, so work on that, landing on the balls of your foot. And then also what I said is your plant step going into and you're coming off the hurdle. You want to pull your hips forward so you can come off taller. Also look at your arms. We need to keep your arms bent at 90 degrees all the time. Those things will help you a lot. Okay, good luck, Alex. Let me know how it goes. Okay, moving on to, I don't know exactly how to say this. It's A-N-G. So I'm going to say Ange. Oh, I'm sorry, A-N-G-E. Come on. Okay. And I'm going to go with the second one. Two that are almost identical, but this is the better of the two. So Ange is in the 10th grade. wanting to go faster between the hurdles and lower over the hurdles. And indeed, he knows what he needs. And by the way, for anybody watching, and sent it to me in slow motion. That's not my preference, people. I prefer to see it full speed and then I can slow it down. Because sometimes there's things that I could see with full speed that are not obvious in slow speed and vice versa. So I like to see both. But this is a really good video, really good quality video. That's the reason why I selected it. And by the way, if you notice, I got like 25 to 30 videos this week and I've only picked 6. And I picked the ones that are the best quality video and ones that I think I can turn around and use for my marketing. Maybe I'll use it as an example in a YouTube video, or maybe I'll use it in some social media, something like that. That's my motivation here. So yes, I like helping people, but I'm also super busy and I'm not at the track every day with athletes. I'm online, so it's very helpful that people are submitting videos to me and giving me permission to use it. So I choose the ones that are good quality video, are very teachable. Okay, so Ange, a couple of things here. I'm going to start here, where obviously you're too high over the hurdle. You already know that. So we need to deal with that. So here you are coming down from about 5 feet in the air, maybe 4.5. And so there's probably going to be some collapse with that plant, with this landing leg, lead leg. Boom, okay. And the trail leg always just flops down when a person is too high, like it did. But you see the reach, and then we're going to see a really, really big, this is a bound. This isn't even running. This is bounding. I mean, it's a drill that coaches do, but it's not what you want to do because it's slower. In fact, I just did a video that came out last Sunday, 5 reasons why you can't 3-step. Check it out, and this is one of the reasons. And then another big leap, landing with your foot way out in front of you on your heels, putting on the brakes big time. So the answer to why you are losing speed between the hurdle is because of the way you're running. You need to just run, my friend. Sprint. Get on the balls of your feet underneath you and run as fast as you can, because running full speed, by nature of the speed, you will cover more ground per stride, but they're faster strides versus ones where you're trying to reach out and artificially have a long stride. Okay? So that's one thing. And the other problem that I see here is identical to Alex right before you. You are lifting a nearly straight leg over the hurdle, so it slows you down and it gives you too much lift. So you end up too high again. I do like your distance from the hurdle though. It would be better if you're moving faster. And not bad here, but there's this just collapse from being too high in the air, and then we're back to that again. So the answer is, okay, keep this in mind. When you're going slow, at a subconscious level, you know that you can't go flat over a hurdle because you don't have enough speed to stay low over the hurdle. So you have to jump high in order to not hit it. So if you had more speed, you'd have more confidence to stay low. So get more speed by running better. How do you learn to run better? Well, by practicing with more pinched in spacing hurdles. I see that you did pinch it in probably about 6 inches, but that's not enough for you. You need to pinch it in more so that you can learn how to do it properly. And then as you get more proficient and more, have you master it at a particular distance, you can gradually spread it out and a little more and a little more and get better and better. So you have good practices that lead to good racing. Okay, that will help you a lot. And then you'll be able to stay lower. Okay. All right, moving on to another different name. I'm going to say Anhkhoa. Anhkhoa is a 10th grader, second year hurdling, and really good. Just generally asking for feedback on how to get better. So I'm going to play that. Looks like to be on the smaller side, but does a really, really good job of it. And then somebody's hand is in the way of the camera, unfortunately. But the rest of it was really good. So let me see what we can see here. Overall, if it wasn't really clear with it, I think you're really good. Again, you look small to me, but you have figured out how to hurdle really well. So that's a really good step right there. Another good step, another good step, another good step, and then now transition 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's quite a reach there. See that? And this is a very, well, you're pretty athletic and pretty fast, so you're making up for it. But we don't want to have this much of a stretch here. So what I would do, or what I would advise you to do, is try to make up for it in your first steps. Like if you could add 1 to 2 inches there, 1 to 2 inches there, 1 to 2 inches there, 1 to 2 inches there. So far we're at, say, 4 to 8 inches. And then keep that the same, keep that the same, maybe do this one a little longer. Okay, so maybe we're at 9 or 10 inches. And if you were 9 to 10 inches closer on this step, you wouldn't have to reach out so far on your takeoff step. Okay, keep that in mind. This is the one that you want to be shorter pushing back, but you can't do it because you're so far away from the hurdle. If you did it here, then you'd never make it. So you need to make it up at the beginning, and that way you can get a good cut step right here. Okay. I do also think you should keep your heel tucked in tighter for a little longer. I do think that your trail arm is sticking out to the side too much. You need to keep it bent. Your lead arm, I can't really tell, but no, it flies back, so we don't want that either. So your arms, you need to work on your arms. So work on your first 4 steps. Work on keeping your lead leg in tucked tighter and get your arms more bent, 90 degrees. You are reaching your peak here, which is good, coming down on the hurdle. It is a little bit far away from the hurdle, but I think this is compensation for your size, because you do have to adjust things different based on your lack of height. And taking off far and landing far is the main compensation. But all things considered, that's a good step. Okay, so now let's talk about the steps between the hurdle. It might be that this is, okay, let me say this. This is a little more reached out than I would like to see, but as fast and athletic as you look, it tells me that this might be the best you can do, again, because of your size. So keep that in mind. I think you're doing great. I think you're doing really well. It does seem like you are getting your hip turned out a little bit. Let me see if I can see it on this side. But again, that's very common I've seen with really good shorter guys who are hurdling. If you haven't seen my video, how to hurdling for short people, it gives you some strategies here. Actually, your hip looks pretty good there. So anyway, those ideas I gave you, I think, are what I would stick with. Okay, moving on to Damiko. So I'm getting a lot of different names today. Okay, this is good because Damiko is a first-year hurdler, does not look to me to be a freshman in high school. I can't tell how old he is, but he's either very mature for his age or he's older and just first year, but I don't know. But he is doing the 300 hurdles, and he is saying he is losing speed and form. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting that confused. He, dealing with his steps, he feels like his stride's not long enough and hard. So I'm going to look at this. We'll look at it full speed first. And I would agree that you have a short stride. Okay? So I also, you know what? I want to show you a video for everybody watching. I made a video this past summer, so months ago, and it just never did as well on YouTube as it should have, because I thought it was really good. I think I'm going to change the thumbnail. Maybe people didn't like it very much. But it talks about how your stride needs to be different when you're running the 300 and 400 than it does on the sprint, like the 100 and 200. And I want you to see this part of the video.
You'll have less pelvis rotation
that when these people
and less
are running,
knee drive, meaning
they
your
don't
knees
get a lot of
aren't
knee
going as
lift.
high. Foot
But
strike
they let
is
their
generally
leg
still on the
drift
balls of
behind
your
them a
foot,
lot
but
to
not
get a
everybody
whole
does
lot of
that.
backside
Just look at
recovery.
Sydney McLaughlin.
Here's,
You'll also have a
see, look
more
at this.
relaxed backside rotation.
And this is how you run the
meaning
300 hurdles.
allow the leg to
You let it
travel
get
back
behind
farther
you
and
pull
approach
your
the
leg
butt
up.
more from the
Okay?
backside
So you'll get
rather
more
than
out of
underneath.
it.
This is a
And cover more ground per stride. Okay? All right. So with that being said, let's count your steps. Well, you know what? We don't need to. I already counted them. And you do 25 to the first hurdle. That's too much. You need to do what I just said. Let your stride relax, go behind you, do one less stride, and do it in 24. Okay? And then in between the hurdle, you did, darn it, I wrote it down and don't know where I put it. Anyway, you did, I believe, 17 steps, which I think is too many. I think you should be trying to do 15 steps. So again, if you would just learn how to run taller, see how you're bent over? Get up tall, get more relaxed, and start teaching you to let your leg drift behind you and come back far. High heel recovery, and it'll help you a lot, and you'll have more energy at the end of the race. Okay, moving on to Devon. Okay, Devon is interesting. Devon is 11th grade, second year hurdler, very good, you'll see, blows everybody away in this race, but he says he's losing speed and form at the end of the race and wants to know why. So let's check him out. Hey, before we do this, my wife just texted me, and I always pick up from my wife. Okay. But anyway, so good lesson for you men when you get married. Your wife's got to be priority. Anyway, Devon is really good, but definitely has some, I will say, some peculiarities to his form. Also, looks like a not tall guy, which kind of is a theme today. Because if I remember correctly, Ange was on the shorter side. The person coming after Devyn is telling me he's short, and someone else is short. So interesting, just a coincidence. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so let me just get it out here. You're good. You're doing really great. You are just got your rhythm down super, super well. But let me show you some things that I think I would reconsider for you. Okay. One is, well, first let me say, I love this look. This right here, this is great. Just as how hard he's pushing off his plant leg and the way that his lead leg is driving right at that hurdle. This angle is fantastic. Got his lead arm going. Just great. This is a really, really nice look. But one thing that I notice, I just notice it feels like your upper body is too bent over. If you were doing 42-inch hurdles, I could see it, but I don't think you need it to do this hard. Because watch this. Like when we look at the curve, we want to see that your hips don't have to rise very much. So right now your hips are just below this white line. And obviously they're going to go high over it because you're not really tall. So it has to do some jumping up. But notice that your head, it actually goes lower than the line when over here it was above the line. So you're actually dipping too low, okay? So it ends up scrunching you down unnecessarily, which can't be good, okay? So I wouldn't lean quite so hard is what I'm saying, okay? And then also when you come out of your hurdle, right here, I think you're touched down, but your trail leg has not made it around enough. So I think you need to pull it around faster. So right here, it's more in front of you. And then, right here. And then also you should be up taller at this point, right? So as you come off this hurdle, and possibly because you were leaning so hard, push those hips forward, get taller right here, and then be running taller between the hurdle. Those would be the things that I'd recommend. But you do have just like Ange and Anhkhoa, I believe, a long stride, but I think you have to. I think it's necessary. I don't like the way you hook your lead arm around there. See that? I would rather it just stick out, pull it back, okay? But it's not bad. And then also you're pulling back kind of a straight arm. You'd be doing better if you kept it bent at 90 degrees. And here you really hook that lead arm. See that? And that's starting to, maybe because you're getting fatigued, that kind of stuff is going to start messing with your rotation, okay? But so hopefully you got some things there that will help you because you're really good. Okay, this guy, there's two people in the video, but the person who sent the video is the guy on the right, and I don't know anything about him. This is not the U.S. Some of the most awesome looking stadiums are people that are sending me videos from, I don't know, African or Asian countries, and they're so colorful, so rich and deep. I don't know, I like photography and videography, and these just always impress me so much. So anyway, this is him right here, and he's just telling me that he's short, and he'd watched my video about hurdling for short people and wanted to know how he could take off farther away from the hurdle. His name is Precious, and he's running with his training partner, who's a female here, and they're both very, very good. Let me show you this in full speed so you can see what I'm talking about. A lot of speed and power. So he's got a really good training partner and a woman, sorry. Come on. Okay. So, Precious. It's going to be hard not to look at her because she's really great. But I think you're really good, Precious. Seriously, this is really good form. Really good. Not perfect, but really good. Let me address your first question, was taking off farther away from the hurdle. I'm not 100% convinced that it's necessary because you are clearing the hurdle really low. You can't be much lower than that. So, and part of the reason why you want to take off farther away is so that you can be low, but you're already low. You're kind of skimming it with your butt right there. The one thing, but it would be an interesting experiment. I will say this. Because if we look at you, you're reaching the peak of your jump right here. And the other one, I thought you were even farther forward. It'd be nice if you could reach it about right here and come down. So what I would do with you is I would just try and experiment to see what if you put something back here, like, I don't know, you probably don't use inches, whatever 6 inches is in centimeters, and put it back here and just try to take off a little bit farther away to see if you like that more and how that, if that gets you to the ground on the other side quicker. And I would do that. I would give it some time, see how it does. But if you don't like it, then go back to this because obviously you're doing fine. Okay? So that's what I would do to address your question because I think you're great. But let me look at some things separate from your question that I think could take somebody like you who's really good and make you even better. Okay, so your lead leg moves really nicely. Let me come a little farther back. Okay, nice step. Not exactly a cut, but meaning that your foot was not moving back, but at least it wasn't far in front of you. But to be even better, you want to get your shin straight up and down and have your foot moving back a bit as it starts to touch the ground, if possible. But if not, just come right on top versus coming in at that angle. The other thing is, I feel like you have your arms too open, okay? Your lead arm is a little bit straighter than I think that it needs, and when it swings back, I think it's too straight. I think you would be better if you had your arm bent at 90 degrees and your hand go right by your knee, and then just think about pulling back with your knee. And then your trail arm, I think, just sort of kind of hangs back, and then it just comes forward when it should have been tucked there. I mean, if you look at all the guys in the Olympics, they're really holding that trail arm tight on their side. I think too tight, to be honest with you, but they always pull it forward and yours just kind of comes through. So I would work on that. But you do ultimately pull it through and you run really great. These are really great strides. So my friend, do me a favor. I would love to use this video because this is fantastic. You would make great pictures, but I don't want to use her in here if she's not happy with it, okay? So if you would email me back and let me know if she's okay with me using this video, that way I don't have to just crop you out or crop her out, I'd appreciate it because this is just amazing athleticism. You both look like super athletes, good examples for people. So let me know. I appreciate it. Whew. Okay, that was the 6 that I'm doing this week. Again, if you want a piece of this, go to acemethodcoaching.com and you will see on there's a thing that says free hurdle review, and you'll see how to do that. That's really it. And if you want a great version of this, go to my website also and sign up for a virtual coaching session. It's basically this multiplied, where I spent as much time I did on all 6 of these people on just you. So do that, and I'm going to do everything I can to help you reach your goals. Oh, I didn't check. I should have checked real quick. Let me see if anybody had a question for me. Somebody says, I'm 12-year-old hurdler, but I'm still training. Terrific. Great. Keep at it. And then Ruan says, hello. Okay, that's it. So if you need me, acemethodcoaching.com. Have a good day. Coach Ace out.